everybody, this is Tina. Welcome to my video today, you guys. I have a fun video I want to share with you. I'm going to be using some brand new products out of the Occasions catalog. In January, on January 3rd, the Occasions catalog launches, and so does Celebrations. And with Celebrations, for every $50 you spend, you get to pick something free out of the Celebration catalog. And back in November, when I went to On Stage, there were a few products that I got to come home with, and this is two of them. So I won this one. This was a Prize Patrol. I was really excited to get this one. It's pretty. And then this, I believe, is the one that everybody got in their bag, in their little On Stage bag. I think this is the one everybody got. So I wanted to use both of these, and I'm also going to be using my new blend markers. So let's dive in and get started with this card. I am making a bunch of these cards because our entire team that was on stage decided to do a mini swap with all the different products that we got. So there were people that got different stamp sets, that won different stamp sets, and were able to do that. So we're all swapping. So I wanted to do these cards for the swap, and I'm using Smoky Slate, Calypso Coral, and then I'm going to be using Navy Blue and Soft Sky. I thought that was a really fun color combo. So I have some layers here. This is a Smoky Slate card base, and then I have a Calypso Coral layer that's going to go right here, and then I have my Whisper White piece, which I'm going to stamp on, and I just took a 1/4 inch off each of these layers. So just a 1/4 inch from this one and then a 1/4 inch from that one, and it allows this to layer together really nicely. And then we're going to start with Memento Black ink, and I'm going to use this image right here, and then I'm going to use Night of Navy, and we're going to use this sentiment right here. So let's stamp our sentiment first, and I just want this down in the corner. If you are interested in getting the Occasions catalog product sooner than January 3rd, you can always join Stampin' Up, and Stampin' Up demonstrators right now are in pre-order, which means we are able to order from the Celebrations catalog, or from the Occasions catalog, and we're able to earn our celebration items starting now. So if you're interested in joining, now would be a great time to do that, and you would get the perk of seeing that new catalog and getting those products early. You can email me if you're interested in joining. It's $99 to join, and you get to pick $125 in product, and that's product that you'd want. You can choose anything. You can even get items out of the Occasions catalog if you want. So it's a great time to join and try it out. I'm just stamping these flowers here, and I'm doing a cluster of 3 here in the middle. And it doesn't matter, this one's a little bit close, but it doesn't matter. We did that in Memento ink. So now we're gonna do a little bit of coloring. So what I have here is I have the Night of Navy markers, the Soft Sky, Calypso Coral, and then the Old Olive. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably speed through this, but I'll zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'm gonna walk you through how to do this really easily, the coloring. So on these markers, you have a brush tip, and then you have a finer point tip. And these are alcohol markers, so they're going to work different than all other markers that you have, unless you have Copics or something like that. These are going to be easy to blend your colors together. So I'm not a big, huge fan of coloring. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do. So when it comes to coloring, I tend to do things really, really easily. I'm not going to get into complicated blending the colors. And the great thing about Stampin' Up is you have 2 colors, so you don't have to worry about it. You're not going to have to worry about figuring out what matches or what coordinates. You're just going to start with those 2 colors, and then you can make it as easy or as complicated as you like. If you like coloring, then by all means, do get really crazy with it. If you don't, then just do it real simple. So what you can see is I started with my lightest color, And in no way am I pretending to be an expert. I started with my lighter color and got the lighter color on there. And then I went back and in a couple places I added my darker color. And then I'm coming back with my lighter color and going over that to add some shading and some darker color. And then you just come in and add the color. You want to be really careful when you're at the edges. This will bleed. So this is going to soak into the paper and it's going to spread. So I try not to get super close to the edge, and I take my time just very lightly adding color to whatever it is, to whichever part I'm wanting the color to be on. And then I give it a minute. I don't try to oversaturate the paper. That's where you can get into it bleeding outside the lines. So when I did all of these, what I did is I did them in steps. So I did all the leaves at one time. I did all the stamping. I did all the flowers. Like I did all the light green first, then all of the dark green. And that made it a little bit easier instead of switching back and forth. For the video here, I'm just showing you so you can get an idea of how to add this. So I'll do the rest of the leaves and then we'll come back and I'll talk to you about the color I'm going to add to the actual flowers. Okay, so there's the green part. So now I want to do my leaves or my flowers. So I want a Calypso coral here. I want a light blue here. And then I want the night of navy up here, since my sentiment is a night of navy down here. So I want that spread out that way. So we'll start with the Calypso coral. And this is how I did it. I just made it super easy on myself. I took my brush tip and I just added the light color just like that. You saw that was super quick and simple. And then I came in with my darker one and I just made a couple swoops like that. And then I went back in with my lighter color. Some of these colors, they don't look, there's not a lot of difference to them. Like the soft sky, there's not, the darker one doesn't have a great deal different, darker, deeper shade than the light at first glance. But once you start coloring and you add that color, you layer that color, you'll start to see the depth. So then here is the night of navy, and this is the darker of all of them. So I wanted to be a little bit more careful probably with the darker one. And you can see how simple that was to color. So a few more things that I want to do just to add a little bit to this. I'm going to take a silver Sharpie and I'm just going to come in and add a few dots in clusters of 3 all around this area. Is just going to give it a little something extra. I feel like it looks like baby's breath sprinkled all around that cluster of flowers. So now a couple things that I noticed is that my Whisper White paper here looks like my blade needs to be changed, and I just have an edge here that is a little torn looking. So I'm just taking a sanding block. You can take a nail file and just file that edge. And then we'll start assembling this, and then we'll have one more thing to do. Remember, with these alcohol markers, they do bleed, so you can see. You'll want to make sure that you're on a surface that is going to be able to handle that bleeding and not ruin anything. So we'll do that. And then for this piece right here, we're going to go ahead and add some foam tape. Bring this over to our card base. Let me zoom out a little tiny bit. And then what I want to do is take some rhinestones. Oh, one other thing. Let's grab the Wink of Stella and add some glitter to this. Because these are alcohol markers, the Wink of Stella is not going to reactivate the ink, so you're not going to have to worry about the transferring. So the very last thing we're going to do to this card is just add these rhinestones right in the middle. And then I want to show you how this card started out. The very first one I did looked a little bit different than this, and then it evolved. And because it was a swap card, I wanted to keep it relatively easy, but then I also wanted it to look really nice. So this is the very first one I did. And you can see it has a lot of the same elements. I have some rhinestones over here. So instead of putting the rhinestones in the middle, I put them here. But I felt like that was going to be a lot of rhinestones. I did 20 of these cards. So instead, I did the rhinestones in the middle. It still has that glitter on there. And then I also added this Calypso Coral pop of color. I think this is beautiful and I love it, but I felt like there was a lot of blue. Like the sentiment here is blue, and then both of these flowers are blue. If I did this simple design again, I would switch and put the Calypso Coral flower here and then stamp this in Calypso Coral. But I just decided to add a pop of color around it, and I really like the way that came out. And then here's all the cards that I did. And originally I had wanted this darker blue flower in this corner. That's originally how I wanted it. And I think I managed to get one that way. So that was what I wanted. Oh, it's this one right here. So originally I had wanted the darker flower up here since the sentiment is darker. But like I said, I did these all in stages. So I cut all the cardstock. That was the first thing I did. And then I just had those piles. And then I stamped all of the sentiments. Then I stamped all of the flowers. And then I colored each element one section at a time, and then I would just do like all of the green, light green for all the flowers at the same time, all the dark green, then I would come back and shade, and then that way I was just working on one element. So the dark flower ended up closer, but that's okay, still love it. So I would like to know which one you guys like better, the one without the pop of Calypso Coral or the one with. Say that 3 times fast, you guys. These are all products out of the new Occasions catalog. I can't wait to send my swap cards off. I'll save this one since it's just a little fuzzy. I thought I got ink on there. So I'll send these off to everybody, and I hope that they will enjoy them. And again, if you have any questions, you can always let me know. All of the supplies for this project is not listed, since you can't purchase it unless you become a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will be back tomorrow to share with you guys again. I hope you have a great day.